Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Review. Well, I want to teach you what you can do to eliminate retirement taxes. Now, it's never too early and it's never too late to get a head start to be sure you're being retirement tax smart. So some of you are reaching out saying, look, Chuck, I see what taxes are doing to my elderly parents, and I'm terrified because they complain because the taxes are higher and higher and higher. Well, folks, that's because they're exposed to what's called retirement mass destruction, or what is technically called a required minimum distribution, RMD, and it ruins people's retirement. And I'll give you a case in point. I think of Bob and Cindy from the great state of Colorado. They're going to be coming into, within a few years of one another, hitting this infamous age of required distributions forced at age 72, as of the tax code today. Their projected required minimum distributions are going to be somewhere in the $50,000 to $60,000 range, and they do not need the income. The government's going to force them to take that money out, pay taxes on that money, and then those distributions are going to tax other things, like tax their Social Security, tax their Medicare. Well, folks, learn what Bob and Cindy learned to do in protecting themselves, just like you can learn to do, this coming Tuesday at retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. They learned one strategy as an example. Well, they learned a lot of strategies, but one strategy that really hits home for a lot of you is how do you use a deduction that will never be as high as it is after this year? It may come back, but after this year, the deduction is going to go down. So right now, you can deduct up to 100% with this one strategy I'll teach you Tuesday, where they used a deduction to offset getting their IRAs converted to Roth IRAs. And even though that's a taxable conversion, they use the deduction to cover the conversion tax. And you can actually do that for up to dollar for dollar if you time it and strategize it correctly. Now, that's not new, folks. That's been around since FDR in some cases, or going back to the oil embargo of the 1970s. It's just Trump made it different between 2018 through 2022. That's one strategy. The other is what's called the rich man's Roth, or the Roth alternative, where they're actually able to now not only have tax protection, but they also said, we also want to have asset protection, right? Because the market's tumbling for a lot of people. Not for our clients. They're not panicked. They have indexing. They have upside without downside, but it's in a tax-free vehicle. So not only are they growing their money without any loss, they're growing it without any loss to future taxes. And I think about whether it's Bill and Sue from the prior week or Bob and Cindy this week, they all have kids, and they don't want to be or leave a big tax burden to their children. And ironically, we met with a client this week by the name of Bill, and his father left him a large IRA, but that IRA is forcing Bill into a higher tax bracket because he has to take these required inherited distribution from his father. Folks, it all totals up to taxes caused problems. But you can use taxes to your advantage. Don't let taxes take advantage of you. Go to retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com, and learn what you can do to be a low tax or a no tax retiree. You work hard for your money. Retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com, and don't let taxes devour a quarter to a third of what you've worked so hard to build, earn, and be able to spend. Retirementprotected.com.